According to Deontay Wilder's manager, Jay Diaz, Wilder will require 2 surgeries. I'm going to quote Diaz directly here. He says, it looks like he'll have 2 surgeries. 1 surgery on his hand and 1 on his bicep. The hand surgery will probably be first. Deontay hits too hard to be a human being. He's got the genetic build of a basketball player. The bones are a little smaller. Most of the heavyweights at this level are big, thick guys with really large bone structure. He hits too hard for his bone structure. Deontay prefers to use punch as gloves because he's such a big puncher. We're going to have to use more of a protective glove. It takes a little edge off your punch, but it's more protective of the hand. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, you can just look it up online. It should be fairly easy to find. There is a video circulating of Deontay Wilder in the immediate aftermath of his fight with Chris Arreola in the dressing room, or perhaps it was the day after at his house, wherever it was, while he's showing his damaged hand, and it's clearly damaged. It's swollen up like a damn balloon. So there's no question that his hand was, severely damaged in that fight. And that's the reason he wasn't really throwing his right hand very much. It must have been very painful when he even moved it. Never mind when he threw it, because I've had a broken hand, and believe you me, it can be excruciating, depending on which bone you break. Certainly when I did it, and it was only a fracture in my hand. It wasn't a clean, break where the bone gets dislodged. It was excruciatingly painful. And I did carry on fighting, but I'm telling you, the pain was incredible. Even when I moved my arm, never mind actually hitting anybody with a hand, even when I moved my arm up, the pain was terrible. So, these fighters really are warriors. But anyway, so the hand was certainly damaged from Wilder. As far as the bicep, in the video that Wilder shows, it's hard to tell if his bicep is really swollen, if there's really any discernible damage from the outside looking in, because of the shape of a bicep, it's harder to tell whether it's swollen or not, because a bicep is, a rounded shape, whereas it's much easier to tell on a hand, because the top of a hand, the back of the palm is very flat normally. So when you see the video, it's all rounded and swollen. It's very easy to tell that it's damaged. They say he'll require 2 surgeries. Now, this could be a problem for Deontay Wilder going forward, because it's not the first time he's damaged his hand. He damaged his hand against Stavern, and even before Stavern, he damaged his hand. I believe in the Stavern fight, he already had a metal plate in his hand from a previous injury he'd suffered to that hand. And in the Stavern fight, he bent the metal plate in his hand by hitting Stavern's head. So, yeah, he's got hand problems there with the right hand, and that's his best punch, the right hand. So moving forward, this hand problem could get even worse. And when you take his right hand out of the equation, Deontay Wilder is pretty limited. And we saw that from the Arreola fight. I didn't think he looked good against Arreola at all. Don't get it twisted. He managed to beat Arreola. Won every round against Arreola. It wasn't a competitive fight. But to me, Arreola was a dead man walking. That was not vintage Chris Arreola. Not saying Arreola's ever been a particularly good fighter. He hasn't. But you watch him against Stavern and watch him against Wilder, and you can tell that's 2 different fighters. He had way more energy against Stavern. Against Wilder, I think he must have been on a crash diet to drop his weight down and just had no energy in there to actually attack Wilder with any type of, real intent. So, yeah, I didn't think he looked that impressive against Arreola, even though it was with one hand. And you take away that right hand from Deontay Wilder, and he is a lot more beatable than he is when the right hand is fully functional. So this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on going forward. How many times now is he going to injure that hand? Is he going to start holding back now because of the fact that he injures that hand every time he cracks people clean with it? Is this going to diminish his punching power going forward? If it does, he's going to have to seriously develop his skill set to make up for it. Is he even capable of doing that? Drop your comments in the comment section below, people. Let me know what you think about everything I talked about in this video. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.